Hey, welcome back to training for top agents, which is you. And I am Kurt, the guy who's giving you some insight as to what inspectors are doing while they're actually at the house so that you know and you can help set the expectations for your client. So we're going to talk about HVAC, which is really three things. How is the house cooled? How is the house heated? And then how is, if there is a central system, which is most houses, how is that air moved around? How is the heat and cooling moved around? Now I'm going to give you an example. If you're in a climate like say Phoenix, where I'm right now, you might not even understand all of the different possibilities that are out there. When you go to a colder client, Colorado, Wyoming, Canada, you'll see like in-floor heat where they run hot water or they run electricity. You'll see electric baseboard heat, right? You'll see, if you remember like old movies where the house, there's like the radiator on the wall, right? Which is still in some houses. That's providing heat, like literally hot water is running through there and that is just dissipating into the air. So it's not all just air conditioners, furnaces in your attic and ducting. I mean, I've been in many houses where there is no ducting, like it's just not a thing. So basic premise of how we test this stuff is we literally just operate the thermostat. You can actually see one of my thermostats right here. That's it. We're not, so you wouldn't expect to show up to the home inspection and the home inspector has like the refrigerator pulled out and is like checking Freon levels, right? Like that would be absurd. You'd be like, whoa. And not to mention, if you watch any of my other trainings, like so wrong. Like any inspectors that try to go above and beyond, they forget, they're like, well, I got to do a lot for my client. They want to know everything. Yeah, except you're in somebody else's house. You do not have permission to like basically be doing, I mean, when you start the beginning of your inspector training, it's like, put your hands behind your back and you look around. Now, of course, we have permission to like function test things through like normal operations, like garage doors, regular doors, the appliances, thermostats, but we can't go taking things apart. Like your buyer doesn't own the house. You as the realtor have no authority there. I don't own the house. I'm literally a guest in somebody else's house and I've been given permission to walk around, look around, and operate things with their normal controls. That's it. So it's just really important to keep in mind. So we operate the air conditioner. We make sure that it's blowing the right amount of cold air. Everybody loves to talk about is the splits right? Like this, yeah. But like for a normal air conditioner, you know, we're looking for a drop of around 20 degrees. Brand new air conditioner will drop the temperature around 20 degrees. And if you don't understand what the splits mean, I think it's like real estate 101 training. Everybody gets taught about the splits. But basically, most of the air in your house is just recirculated. You know, the difference between your car, we're bringing outside air in versus being on recirculation. And that's why you have an air return, which is where your filter is. So the air is sucked in through the filter and then it is either cooled or heated and then put back out to the house through the registers. So you want those, the difference between what the house is now and what it's putting out. Give you a couple of ideas. Usually in the summertime, you're going to go like 65 and under for the air conditioner, unless the only time that doesn't happen is when you go to that house and either the AC wasn't on or it was set to like 90. You're not likely to get to 65. You might, but if you get to 75 in that case, 70, 75, you're doing pretty good because that's the split. So and with a furnace, an electric furnace, you like to see like over 90, preferably even over 95 degrees coming out at the register. And then with a gas furnace, your range is usually, if it's under 100, we'll write that down. And if it's above 125, we'll actually write that down too, because if it's blowing too hot, that's also an issue. And again, so we're going to look at the furnace, we're going to look at the air compressor, and if there's anything visually going on with it, we're going to write that down. Let me show you everybody loves to see the templates, right? All right. So for cooling, we're going to have a video of it. We're going to have a picture of the label plate so you can see, and you can figure out anything you want. If you want to, I'll probably have another video down the road, but learning how to do SEERs and BTUs and all that kind of stuff. If there's a swamp cooler, we'll tell you that. The SOP is how old is it? If it's older, really, if you get more than 15 years out of an air conditioner, you're on the plus side. So we'll write it down if it's close to that. If the condensate lines are leaking, we'll write that down. If there's any problems with the actual outdoor air compressor, like it's not cooling enough, or this is the thing that is not required, but we see a lot, and that is that let's say you got a 1998 house. So 2015 rolls around, the air compressor gets shot, and then they put a new one in. Well, that old air compressor needed a 60 amp breaker. Well, the new one actually says max amperage for the fuse or circuit breaker is 50. And so that's actually a problem because now you can put 60 amps to it when it actually says the max is 50. And therefore you can actually burn out the compressor. Not gonna be covered by warranty, it's not gonna be covered by insurance because they should have changed out that breaker when they got the air compressor. If there's anything on the swamp coolers, you know, again, we operate those. We do have a write-up that says swamp cooler present with HVAC. You don't want to have a swamp cooler and an air conditioner. They're literally doing two opposite things. Air conditioner is going to be pulling humidity out of the air. You can notice that, especially if you're in a humid climate like Texas or Florida. And then the swamp cooler is literally putting humidity into a room to make it feel cooler. And then heat, same kind of a thing. The actual heat source, is it old? If it's in the living space, we'll do carbon monoxide levels. If there's any problem, so again, if it's natural gas, are the ducts causing any problems or anything combustible near the hot ducts that releases the burnt off gases? And then again, we won't see it so much in the Phoenix area, but we got natural gas boilers, baseboard heat, and radiators. And again, in our Colorado business, as an example, we see floorboard heat all the time. And how do we test it? Not with this, but with we pull out the thermal camera, and guess what? It lights up like a Christmas tree. If you want to see a picture of that, let me know. It's super cool because either electric or water, hot water, you just point the thermal gun at the floor, and you see all these little coils running through the floors. And that's how they heat the floor, especially up in the mountains. It's very productive up there. And then lastly, air distribution. This is like the thermostat and all the ducts. So how does the heat and the cool get put around? So this would be like where if there's a problem with the catch pan, with the ducting, if the thermostat itself is broke or not working, we'll write that there. If there's, on certain places like in Florida, you actually have like a air handler where you might have like a bunch of gunk and mold inside there. We don't want that. And then again, any problems with the ducts. So heating, cooling, and then how the heat and the cool is spread around the house. That's what HVAC is. That's how we test it. So I hope that gives you a little insight to what we're doing while we're testing the heat and the AC. We'll see you in the next training.